रुत है ये प्रभु मिलने की। मस्त पवन है महका चमन है, मस्त पवन है महका चमन है। बेला है मंगल मिलने की। मन पंछी तू उड़ जा वतन में, रुत है ये प्रभु मिलने की। मन पंछी।
Taking everyone's love remembrances. When I went to offer bhog to Baba, and I was offering bhog to Baba, Baba accepted with a lot of love, and then also Baba called Dadi near and also made her accept bhog. It had been really so wonderful to go to Baba to offer bhog and to meet Dadi. It's really, really very powerful and loveful. Baba was sharing drishti and was very, very loving. And Baba said that every child's heart is very pure, very clean, and also has a lot of love for Baba and Dadis. Everyone's heart is very pure, very clean, and also there is a lot of love for Baba and Dadis. I'm repeating it because Baba said it, and then Baba said, because of all that in the heart, children are also very tireless. They are constantly serving all the children through thoughts, words, actions, through mind, through body, through wealth. All are constant servers and tireless. And because of that, Baba keeps children very protected from whatever is happening in the world outside, because children are, Baba said, very, very tireless, intense. And Baba wants that nothing from outside should touch the children. And because of constantly being a server through karma yoga, or through silence, this elevated energy or actions which children are accumulating also is helping children to feel full of treasures and happy. So I just said to Baba that today in the world, they're celebrating International Year of Happiness. So Baba was smiling. Baba said, you children know what is true happiness. They want that there should be happiness in the world, but they don't have experience of inner happiness. You children have experience of true happiness, inner experience and inner happiness. Not only that, but you are also constantly happy. And then Baba was looking at Dadi Gulzar. Baba said she always is smiling, looking at Baba. So I said, Baba, is there any secret in her smile? So Baba said that because very, very naturally, she always feels like being passed with honor, honest, and in company of Baba, like constantly, she had these feelings inside. And also deep within her heart, there are always good wishes and good feelings for everyone. Good wishes, good feeling, Baba said, even benevolent feelings in her heart. And because of that presence and the vibrations of these three qualities, she spreads very beautiful vibrations around her. So that keeps her stable and very powerful. So Baba says her smile is of her success. Her smile is of her inner treasures and powers. So Baba also wants all of you to follow Dadi, to always have beautiful spiritual smile of success on your face. Because in Lokik world, today nobody has anything to smile, right? They will have list of sorrow, list of problems, what is happening in the world, worries. But children are completely free from all such thoughts. But looking at the cheerful and smiling faces of children, it will bring hope in their life. They would want to know what are the blessings for them. So your face, smiling face, like Dadi Gulzar kept constantly, not only once in a while, will be great method of service also. So Baba says, Baba knows that all children are very sincere, and Baba said their heart is true. So Baba's blessings are always with children. Baba will always keep you near him. And you also must be feeling that we are very near, close to Baba. Baba gave lots of love remembrances for every child. बाबा के पास वतन में आप सबकी याद प्यार लेके भोग लगाने के लिए गई। तो हमारे सौभाग्य की बात है कि रोज वतन में बाबा से, दादी गुलजार जी से मिलना होता है। तो आज बाबा ने भोग स्वीकार किया और फिर बाबा ने दादी को भी भोग स्वीकार कराया। फिर बाबा सबको स्नेह भरी दृष्टि देते हुए बोले, सभी का दिल बहुत पवित्र है, शुद्ध है, और सबके दिल में एक बाबा के लिए और दादियों के लिए बहुत प्यार है। तो दिल में ये सब है, और इस कारण बाबा ने कहा कि अथक सेवाधारी भी है। हर प्रकार की सेवा बच्चे कर रहे हैं, मन से, वचन से, कर्म से, तन से, मन से, धन से अथक सेवा कर रहे हैं। बाबा बच्चों को अपनी रक्षा छत्र छाया के नीचे रखते हैं कि संसार में जो कुछ हो रहा है उसका कोई भी प्रभाव, कोई भी असर बच्चों पर ना हो, क्योंकि दुनिया में सभी मनुष्यों को क्या होगा, कैसे होगा, फिक्र है, चिंता, परंतु बच्चे तो इन सब बातों से फ्री है। बाबा की छत्र छाया भी है, परंतु अपने भी पुरुषार्थ में और सेवा में व्यस्त होने के कारण और सदा ही श्रेष्ठ कर्मों पूंजी जमा करने के कारण अंदर में अपने को भरपूर समझते हैं। तो बाबा ने कहा उसका भी बहुत बल और उसकी भी बहुत शक्ति है। बाबा ने दादी गुलजार जी को देखा और कहा, ये बच्ची सदा मुस्कुराती रहती है। तो बाबा पूछ रहे, बाबा दादी क्या राज है आपकी मुस्कुराहट का? तो दादी ने कहा कि सदा भरपूर महसूस करती हूँ, सफलता महसूस करती हूँ, आपके साथ की समीपता महसूस करती हूँ और इस कारण अंदर की जो संतुष्टि है, उसके कारण मैं मुस्कुराती रहती हूँ। उसके बाद बाबा ने कहा कि सभी बच्चों को दादी गुलजार जी से ये विशेष गुण अपने स्वरूप में लेना है कि सदा हर्षित, सदा चेहरा मुस्कुराता रहे, क्योंकि दुनिया में जिन परिस्थितियों से लोग गुजर रहे हैं, आप लोगों की मुस्कुराहट, आप लोगों की ये जो इतना अच्छा चेहरा होगा, वो उन सभी के मन में आशा जागृत करेगा, नया उमंग, उत्साह लाएगा। तो बेशक वाणी से सर्विस तो करते ही हैं, पर अभी चेहरे से बहुत सेवा आप लोगों की होने वाली है। ऐसा कहते हुए फिर मैंने कहा बाबा आज सारे विश्व में खुशी का दिन मना रहे हैं। तो बाबा ने मुस्कुराया, इस सच्ची खुशी का अनुभव तो आप लोगों को है। उनकी खुशी तो बहुत थोड़े समय की है, कभी आती है, कभी जाती है, पर आप सभी को स्थायी खुशी है और बाबा यही चाहते हैं कि आप सभी इस तरह से खुश रहो, प्रसन्न रहो और आप सभी का चेहरा सदा खिला रहे और मुस्कुराते रहो। तो बहुत-बहुत मानव सभी लोगों में बहुत-बहुत बाबा ने कहा कि उनकी मन में आशा के दीपक जगेंगे। ऐसा कहते हुए बाबा ने सभी को बहुत-बहुत याद प्यार दिया और प्रेम की दृष्टि देते हुए विदाई दी। ओम शांति।
ज्वालामुखी योग और योग की सब्जेक्ट हमारी विशेष सब्जेक्ट है। तो ज्वालामुखी योग, एक तो कामन योग में हम बैठते ही है, आत्मा हूँ और परमात्मा की याद में बैठते हैं। लेकिन अभी समय अनुसार बाबा कहते हैं अभी साधारण योग नहीं चाहिए, अभी ज्वालामुखी योग चाहिए। क्यों? कि सारे विश्व के आत्माओं को हमें परिवर्तन करना है, समय को परिवर्तन करना है। सारे विश्व को हमारा बाबा आ गया, बाप आया, वर्षा दे रहा है। आपने तो वर्षा ले लिया है ना, पक्का वर्षा ले लिया है, हाथ उठाओ। थोड़ा तो नहीं लिया है, बहुत लिया है ना। क्योंकि थोड़ा ले लिया ना, तो जो हमारा बाबा से वायदा है, बाबा प्यार से, कितने प्यार से हम एक एक कहते हैं बाबा को, बाबा हम अभी भी आपके साथ है, भले कहाँ भी सेंटर पर रहते हो, लेकिन याद क्या है? वो सारा दिन क्या याद है? बाबा साथ है ना, अभी भी साथ है और साथ चलेंगे अपने घर। बाबा आपके साथ चलेंगे और फिर राज में भी चलेंगे। ये वायदा है ना बाबा से हमारा।
Shanti. Welcome to Gift from God. Today's day 10, sweet, subtle, silent. Now we'll be listening to Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti. How many of you have met Dadi Gulzar? Can I see hands? How many of you have met Dadi Gulzar? Yeah, maybe 50%, right? Yeah, more. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, show your hands. It was so interesting seeing two personalities, right? When Dadi Gulzar as Dadi Gulzar, and other one is when Avyak Bab Dada used the chariot and to give Drishti and Baba's Murli. Because as Dadi Gulzar, she was very loving, simple, friendly, very, very friendly in the sense of she will just become part of us. I remember that many times in Om Shanti Bhavan, in Pandav Bhavan, we used to have cultural programs in the evening. Whenever there is a group, then in the end there is cultural program. So she used to come little bit later, and then because sometimes we were not sure if she's coming or not, so never fixed the seat. So when she comes, then on the front row, we all try to move around here, there, left, right, so that we can make space for her. And she will humbly come, and wherever we give her to sit, she will be very happy. Never make like, oh, generally it is like, where is my seat? And it should be fixed, And I used to really look at her and I said, how she didn't expect, we generally should be that, we have seats for daddies. But because whatever reason, we never had seat for her during those programs, never has this consciousness of I'm senior, so I should have fixed seat. Or many times I notice she will humbly come, and of course we all have a lot of respect for her. So what I'm saying that as Dadi Gulzar, she was very, very humble and had no expectations of any kind. Generally, being chariot of God, she should expect there will be a lot of like, welcome. No, she just came simply and she will sit. So this name, fame, seat, she was so far from all that. And I know because of that also, at least I used to admire her simplicity and not having this slow, I am chariot of God, so I should be given special respect, special seat, or everything special. No. So that was very lovely to see. And of course, when being chariot, it was so interesting that, as soon as Baba started speaking or about to speak, you see so many things happening on the stage. Like here, too little happens, but they have to remove this, remove this, remove this. People change of seats up on the stage. Dadis start coming on the stage, but Baba and Dadi, the way they're sitting as if nothing externally, whatever is happening, but very focused, just giving drishti. And I never forget that because our surroundings, the physical, karma yoga, whatever is going around has to be done. But Baba, in a weak stage, very silent, just observing and not getting no disturbance around. And I really admire it, and I practice many times that whatever is happening around, but how just stay awake, stay with Baba, so that the silence, the focus, concentration, and attention or awake state stays. And that's the practice I learned, and I pay attention to looking at when Baba comes in the chariot. And many stories we heard today, we had little sharing. And when someone said that he's looking around in New York City, all tall buildings and activity. But actually she was in very deep silence because she knows this is what happens in the world. This is Iron Age. So that embodiment of knowledge in such a way that there is nor attraction nor distraction. No attraction, but also not distraction. So it's a very, very beautiful image of concentration, Dadi. And as company of Baba, she said. And also Dadi talked about volcanic yoga. That means constantly flame ignited. Even our flames are ignited, but it's more like a star. But it has to be more like a flame. Om Shanti.
चार गुण जीवन में सदा होवे, मैंने देखा है। पहला है धीरज। ऐसे डिटेल नहीं सुनाती हूं, परंतु कोई अब गहराई में जाकर के आत्मा मन स्थिति में अगर धीरज के देखेंगे ना, धीरज धर मन व मन को धीरज दो, जल्दी अधीरे न हो जाओ। अधीरता व्यर्थ चिंतन में ले जाती है, दुखी बनाती है। दूसरा गुण है सहनशीलता। सहनशीलता के गुण के गहराई में जाएंगे ना, बहुत हमको ये नहीं कहते हैं सहन शक्ति चाहिए, मुझे सहन करने की शक्ति आती है, आती है। क्या बड़ी बात है, मुझे सहन करना पड़ता है। मेरा दुख हुआ, शक्ल में थोड़ा भारीपन आएगा, कभी आंखें गिली भी हो जाएंगी, वो सहनशीलता नहीं है। धीरज, सहनशीलता। तीसरा हमारा मित्रता भाव, कोई शत्रु नहीं है मेरा। निंदा हमारी जो करे, मित्र हमारा सोए, ये मेरे बाबा के बोल है। उसको मित्र मानो, जो महिमा करे उसको मित्र मानो, जिसने कुछ निंदा की, गलत बोला, उसको शत्रु मानो। ये ज्ञानी तो आत्मा ये नहीं कहेगा। महिमा करने वाले तो मुझे खुश भी कर सकते हैं, या आज महिमा करते कल कुछ भी कर सकते हैं, पर उस पर मेरा आधार न हो जीवन का। महिमा के आधार से मैं शिवा में रहूं, महिमा के आधार से मेरा अच्छा संबंध रहे नहीं। अब मन में आया, मुख से बोला, वाइब्रेशन में आया, गलत है। जैसे मित्रता भाव में समा लेते हैं, मित्रता भाव में समा लेते हैं। ये मम्मा पापा को देखा है,
Shanti. Welcome to Diamond Dadi. Today is day 20. Never superficial, extra image. So now we'll be listening to Mohini Didi. And today is Saturday, so we will be having our dear brother Eric with us soon, and also special guest. So let's hear from Didi now.
There is so much we can reflect on what Dadi is saying in few words, but really very, very rich and very deep. But the way Dadi talked about dependency on praise, that when I am praised or if nothing happens, then my happiness is really depending on what I am receiving from outside. But if I have tolerance and if I have patience, and if I know that there is nothing, a little thing happen and then it comes on our face, in our feelings, and we let our stage go. And to have friendship, have love, but this subtle dependency on, if you praise me, if you are saying good things to me, then I am happy. Otherwise, no dependency of that kind also. Dadi's efforts definitely very sincere, it's from heart. And when there is sincerity and you want to do it from heart, there is no excuse. Mostly our excuse is I am busy, I have so much to do, I didn't get time. This happened because of tension came from action. So I think if we are attentive and if we are sincere, we will make it in such a way that we are able to do our 12 times drill, right? And also properly, more and more patience. Dadi had love for Morley, as you all know. Source of our power is Morley. I think those who heard in Hindi this morning that we said God is also one who is bestower of help. But so interesting when you will hear it, what way he gives the help is through the power of knowledge. So knowledge has to be changed in power, right? Knowledge, not just knowing and repeating, but how have I changed knowledge into all the powers? So Murli is the source. And Dadi used to say that Murli is like every day when you go, you have any sickness. So doctors, there was a time, take X-ray. Now they have sonogram. Then they have MRI, right? As I mentioned recently, we had to buy MRI machine for trauma center in Abu Roads. I was telling them it's so expensive. Why we need it? They say there are a lot of sicknesses we cannot trace through sonogram only. So X-rays are common, then sonogram, now MRI, so that we know exactly what's the sickness. And when diagnosis is correct, then one can begin the treatment in an appropriate way. Doctors also depend on that. So Murli also is where X-ray is done of my own self. Like I can just see clearly how much body consciousness, how much soul consciousness, how much I have good feelings for everyone, how quickly they can disappear. Everything there could be very, very clearly seen. So Murli is very, very important. We can find out what are deeply within my sanskars, which can be seen in X-ray through Murli. These are the sanskars still emerge from time to time. So that means traces of sanskar haven't changed. It has changed, but not totally from the roots. So they keep emerging, popping, they call it. not knowing suddenly from where again these thoughts came. And Dadi said, a lot of wasteful thoughts start emerging. And now we don't have to, we have to be attentive so that I do not break the record of being consistent. Maya tries to break our link. Everything will be good. Maya says, okay, you're doing very well now. I come. And where she comes and knocks you off. I like in Murli Baba is saying, we tell Maya, come, but I will be victorious. You come because it's your duty. We had been your friends for long, so you will come anyway. But I will be victorious. Not only I will fight with you, but I will be victorious. So Murli is like mantra. You have to keep, like since I read this morning, I keep repeating in my mind many times, I have to be victorious. I have to be victorious. Otherwise the sanskars come and they overtake our feelings. So lot attention on the Murli is what Dadi's main teachings are, so that we are able to change knowledge into all the powers. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Welcome to a Vyakti journey, a Vyakti Parivar chit chat, sharing from the heart that touches the heart. So I'd like to invite our dear brother, Eric.
Om Shanti, dear Mohini Didi, and greetings of love to everyone. So nice to be back again. So nice to feel. Now it's almost like a special every night, 2 for 1. It seems like we get double. We have Dadi Guzan, Dadi Chenki, we have you, we have a guest. This production is becoming like really a very beautiful producer. I'm thinking of retiring soon, but I think I should apply to get a job in Vyakti Parivar now.
Thoda,
They're getting really busy. So Mohini Didi, I was really enjoying the thoughts on the Dichenki, and for us, one unique aspect was that she has been talking so much knowledge for so many years, and at the end, she was making the classes shorter and shorter. Would you agree that some of the essence of her last classes is all about who am I, who I belong to, and who belongs to me? Is that also what you feel she was really insisting at the end of being, the essence of what she wanted us to appreciate?
yeah, definitely the third one, recent issues and what I have to do. Who am I, whom I belong, and what I have to do. Yeah, because even now when you are listening to her, the way it has been chosen, just few lines of her are so powerful, so essential, So I think that that's what happens, that reflection, churning, then becoming embodiment, and after doing constant seva, there are just few words which are left to explain, and they are very, very powerful, very powerful. You are hearing Dadi Gulzar and Dadi Janki's few words, and they are really very striking, powerful, very practical. Yeah, that's true.
We feel that. And I was wondering, what is your experience of, I've been reflecting on that the last few weeks, and this notion of, when Baba tells us, who do you belong to? And having that experience of saying, I belong to Baba and Baba belongs to me. And I was actually seriously thinking for myself, how much is it? 100%, 50%? Did I keep a little bit of me to belong to, I don't know, myself or someone else? Or am I 100% belonging to Baba? How would you describe seeing the daddies who we know you cannot separate any daddy from Baba? What will be your way of expressing what it means to belong to Baba and Baba belongs to me?
I think we all have 100%, no?
Yeah.
Myself, you, and whom else we have, in our life. So I belong to Baba, Baba belongs to me is 100%. And now the question is what I have to do is to become like Baba. So I belong to Baba and I have to remind myself just to see that how Baba's sanskars, Baba's qualities are more imbibed and also interaction with those qualities. And I think we are almost there. We are becoming like Baba also because he is not, when you will read this only tomorrow where Baba is saying that every step, one step you come, how many fold steps I come. So just take a little step and then you see how forward I come. So I think we have accumulated enough steps of courage and we will continue. And then the return which is coming, is really, really manifold. So yes, we all are becoming like Baba also. Little margin is there. Right?
I know we have a special guest tonight, but I feel whenever I come to you for understanding more, I get a blessing. So Dadi, Jenki use X-ray machine and MRI. Are you using the blessing machine to help us?
Yeah, that's what we all have to do.
I think you are looking at us with blessing machine and we feel, okay, then everything is okay. One
Thank
little
you.
question though, I was wondering, Mohini Didi, last time you saw Dadi Gurzar next to Brahma Baba would have been probably 50 years ago when she was Dadi Gurzar and we didn't know she would be Baba's instrument. And if I'm correct, you haven't seen her too often next to Brahma Baba. Does it feel special to you to see now Dadi Gurzar, which is difficult to dissociate from Bab Dada, next to Brahma Baba in subtle region? You must be thinking, that's interesting. I never thought I would see her like that, no?
I mean, I saw not because she was in Delhi, and but when Mama left body, because she's the one who was next to Baba and bringing messages, and she was there all the time. So many, many times, of course, she was with Brahma Baba. But when I see in subtle region, it's like, she's so, I don't know, sometimes I feel like childlike, she's full of enthusiasm, cheerful, and she. But I think that she had that quality because in Dadi's life there was nothing else. Their joy, their happiness, everything was with Baba, from Baba. So I think that that personality was there. But now I see it every evening, and I try to understand. Like she's so happy. I mean, she was always happy, but it's a kind of different feeling. Maybe she was doing her trips in subtle region, no, in subtle form. We heard in the end in a hospital, like they could see that she as an angel, and now she is free from body, so must be unlimited feelings of benevolence and unlimited feelings of serving. Very, very beautiful personality in angelic region.
Must be a very special experience for you to see her every day, and it's unique scene in the drama, and we'll look forward a few more days, of course, with her. So you give her our regard and tell her not to forget to come to Montreal. We are waiting for her. We'll be happy to have her here. And so let's hear, we have a very unique guest tonight, which I don't know very well. So it's going to be very interesting to ask a few questions, and then we'll bring you in again for the last part. So we have Sister Nalisha tonight with us, and very happy to get to know a little bit more your story with Dadi, because I was told you have a very unique connection with Dadi, and we all want to know about it and where it comes from and how it happened. And were you Daddy's friend in your previous birth? What's the story? Tell us the full story. How did it happen?
Shanti,
And
Eric,
welcome to Aveti Pariva. Very nice to have you. Very happy to chit-chat with you. And I'm told that there will be beautiful secret stories you're going to share with us tonight.
I'm so really honored to be here today with everyone. It's just, I feel so like it's actually Baba and Dadi's blessings that really brought me to where I am right now. I came to Baba when I was 9 years old. And within months of coming to Baba, my first Raksha Bandhan, my first Rakhi was being tied with Dadi Janki. And, when you're 9 years old, 10 years old, you don't really recognize what that value is, what that means. But I do remember that since that moment, it felt like Dadi had her eyes on me, but I also had my eyes on Dadi. And, and I just continued to, and I grew up with lots of love. When you grow up in the Brahmin family, there's never a moment that you're not loved. But that love that Dadi gives, it's like that boost that you don't even realize that you needed or were missing. And it's just, with just one glance, you just feel so lifted. And I think my journey with Dadi just kind of grew from that point on. When I was in my 20s, I was always tied with my Lokik parents, who are also very elevated Brahmins. And in my 20s, I had a very private conversation with Dadi. And in that moment, Dadi had looked at Hansaben and said, look after her. And that was the moment that it was kind of where my relationship started to shift with the Yagya, but also with Dadi, where I just was able to just come close in so many different ways that I myself did not even recognize that value, because it just felt so natural to be near Dadi. I had, whether it be traveling with her or just staying with her and helping to look after her. And, I often thought that I was there to help look after Dadi, but what was really happening is Dadi was looking after me all these years. I saw Dadi as a protector of the Yagya. She was uplifting the Yagya. She was sustaining the Yagya. And really just upheld the integrity of the Yagya is what I saw and experienced. And I just felt like my part was to serve the Yagya. And part of that was just to be close with Dadi and to just learn, but also to kind of, to assist and support, and just in whatever way that was needed to just say yes.
So did you find that she had a lot of, did you find she had a lot of expectations on you? Do you feel that she was pushing you really beyond sometimes your comfort zone, or was she just a kind of big, motherly, loving, presence for you?
I think she had subtle expectation without voicing it. She never said, you should do this, you should do that, but she checked me a lot. Like, for example, so I live in Washington, D.C. with my Lokik work. And she was like, so you're living by yourself? And she goes, do you want to? And I said, well, Daddy, it works with my job. And so she said, okay, so let's talk about how you're going to do this. She goes, how do you dress when you go to work? And before I could answer, she goes, this is how you will dress when you go to work. Then she would say, okay, so what are you earning? And she sat with me and we wrote down what I earned and every expense I had every month, because she wanted to make sure that I was being economical. So it wasn't like she was pressuring me, but she was checking me. Then she would say, okay, now you need discipline. A Brahmin life is a disciplined life. When you're living on your own, let's figure out how you're going to do this. And so we would come up with a timetable. And then she would say, okay, how are you serving at your work? So it was never like, you must do this, you must do that. But the questions were such that it made me feel that I need to always lift up or elevate my efforts. And so the way she did it was very motherly, but I also knew that it was her way of saying, this is my vision for you. Without, it always came in this beautifully blessed, package of love, and you just want to say yes. And whatever Dadi and I came up with as plans and discussions, it became firm in those moments.
What do you feel you learned the most from her without being dependent on her?
She brought me close to Brahma Baba. She brought me close to, first it was Shiv Baba, but then it was really said, follow the Father, but follow Brahma Baba, just like Mohini Didi was talking about. And it's just this really, I think it was really solidifying that relationship. But also it was about having being open to whatever drama was going to reveal to me. Growing up, I used to always ask, what is my part? What is my role? I want to know. And I used to just ask that because I said, Baba found me at the age of 9 for a reason, but I want to know. I was like, secrets, I don't want secrets. I want to know. And she never answered that question, but she always taught me to have an open heart. And when I had an open heart, I'd have an open mind, and then drama would reveal itself very beautifully to me. But it was such a way that she would say it where it just made me feel calmer, patient. But what it also did was it taught me to have trust. Dadi had complete trust in the drama, trust in Baba, but I also felt she had trust in me. And that was something that I was like, okay, it's not something I can keep to myself. Because what Dadi always did was whatever she had, whatever she gained, she always then shared it. And so then that also then inspired me to want to do that for others. And so I feel like what Dadi really left me with was this feeling of, it's my turn to try to uplift the yagya, or, to be that protector of the yagya. I've always had this strong feeling that I must protect the yagya, and that came from Dadi. But it wasn't that Dadi was bringing me to her. It felt like, yes, I was with Dadi a lot. Like when I'm in Madhuban, I stay with her. When she's at Peace Village, I'm with her. But it wasn't that she wasn't trying to bring me to her. She was bringing me closer to Baba, but also to my authentic true self, I felt like.
Was it difficult? I'm trying to imagine being a young girl. It's very difficult. I can't figure it out, but I'm trying to imagine what will it be to be a young Kumari close to Dadi, who attracts many other Kumaris. Is it difficult to be a young Kumari under the gaze of Dadi Janki when everybody else is around? Do you feel sometimes questioning yourself, or is it, I'm not trying to say, but is it like sisters, it's hard to compete with one another or get Dadi's attention? Or do you feel like it's my turn, it's my turn, it's my turn? Or how do you cope with, I don't know how I would cope being close to Dadi and not being aware of, how much time and, do I get her attention? Because Dadi's loving to everyone. So how did you cope with keeping your own strength, without being crushed with this pressure or relationship with Dadi?
It's like Dadi had enough to give to everyone. There was never this feeling of, I need to be seen, I need to be up front. It was just, we all had rights. And it was interesting, whenever we were together, other Kumaris, we'd all bring each other to Dadi. It wasn't like, oh, let me go. It was always like, no, you first, because that was how Dadi, I watched Dadi, when Dadi Gulzar would be in Shakti Bhavan, Dadi was always like, where's Dadi Gulzar? Let's go see her. And she would just grab one of our hands and we'd walk over next door to see Dadi Gulzar. And that pure friendship, that clean relationship, it taught us how to be together. And so there was never competition. It was always like, no, we have to actually bring everyone forward. If I go forward, everyone goes with me. And we all just felt we had rights. It was just like, we all belonged to Dadi, we all belonged to Baba. And so it wasn't this feeling of, I must be seen. It just felt very natural to be together, because Dadi was lifting us all up just by her presence. And she gave to everyone, anyone that came to Dadi, whether you were a child, a longtime BK, or a contact soul, Dadi gave equally to everyone, and everyone felt like that Dadi belonged to them.
I have so many questions I'd love to ask you, but no, we have time One last maybe, and I don't know if Dadi ever told you if you were a second birth Brahmin. I'm sure you have been asked this many times, or you must have questioned yourself at 9 years old coming to Baba. It was just like straight from, the old Yagya to the new ones. You were just the recycled sisters to come back again and bring Baba. But I don't know if Dadi mentioned that to you. And then, do you have one favorite scene with Dadi that you really, really cherish, like one of your best moment with her that you come back to sometimes when you miss her or you want to be with her?
Gosh, there's so many. I'll tell you two quick stories. One was that I had been in India for my Laukik work. So my Laukik work is in social justice, human rights, and I was in India doing some work. And so my organization had paid for my travel. They'd given me travel money. They paid for my ticket. And I went to Madhuban afterwards. And Dadi said to me, they've done this much service for you. What are you doing for them? And she said, and then she went into the Bandara and started herself with Jantiban, because everyone else had gone to rest, with Jantiban, started pulling out gifts, toli, and was handing it to me. And I had this huge pile. And Jantiban says, Dadi's never done this for anyone, because Dadi said, if they're going to serve you, you have to serve them multi-millionfold. And after that moment, it actually shifted where I started serving my work, my contacts, everyone in such ways that actually my director says, oh yeah, part of our program is now we offer meditation, because it was Dadi's blessing. But it was just that scene of Dadi going into the shelves, trying to climb on a step stool to pull out items for me to take. But there was this other moment that, I admit there have been moments where I've struggled. And I would go to Dadi, and Dadi happened to be at Peace Village. And I just said, Dadi, so this is the second story. I said, Dadi, I'm feeling I've been struggling a little bit. And she said, nothing's a struggle. But she says, I understand. So she didn't come down on me for feeling like I was struggling or difficult, anything was difficult. But what she did was she took her hand and put it on my heart. And she said, she goes, whenever you find yourself feeling a little bit like something is lacking, put your hand on your heart. And she did that with me. She actually put her hand on my heart and said, I belong to Baba. I am Baba's child. And she goes, and then remember, I'm also your friend. And she said, you'll never feel alone. You'll never feel empty. But if you ever do, just put that hand on your heart. And remember, my hand was there too. And that moment, I don't think there's been a moment after that I have ever felt like empty or like something was lacking, because in that moment, I felt so connected. It was actually, I felt connected to Baba even more. And Dadi did that. She didn't say, come close to me. It was really to bring me close to Shiv Baba, but also Brahma Baba. And so that was that moment, I like, every time I talk about it, you can tell I get a little emotional about it, because it just really, it was a shifting moment for me.
I think we all get emotional. Okay, everybody try. Put all your hand in your heart. Press. How long? Did you say how long you should stay in your heart?
As long as you need to.
As long as you need to. I'm going to try that as soon as it happens. Let's bring back Mohini Didi. I'd love to hear Mohini Didi. I'm sure you must be, Nalisha, of course, from a young age as well. How do you feel, Mohini Didi, listening to, as a compliment, we still see the 9 years old girl in you. She hasn't gone anywhere. She's still there, fresh and intact. So Mohini Didi, how do you feel when you listen to such stories from those who got so close to Dadi? Yeah?
Not only listening, but I saw her in Peace Village or whenever she went, and she will always tell me, I'm going to Madhuban. And generally Hansaben calls her, because Hansaben calls her her assistant. She didn't mind it. But I think it's her fortune, and definitely blessings and good wishes from Laukik parents who are also Brahmins, Jayashriben and Ravindra Bhai. And she's there now. You are in Connecticut, right, with them. She's working few weeks from home. But also I was she recently shared with me the whole story of what is happening at her workplace and how much everywhere she's in demand for meditation. And so she's young, but not young. She's big.
Mm.
So I thought briefly, just briefly tell us your recent service ventures or invitation. And because she works in an organization where, what is it? Mhm.
So I'm working for a human rights social justice organization where we advocate for workers who are marginalized because of, you know, their circumstances. And recently, so I work with, recently there was I was contacted to provide a meditation program on building power and leadership for a group of women who were elected into high-level positions within their labor unions. And what was happening is that they were feeling a lack of connection to their roles, but also feeling like the stress and the burnout level was increasing. And it was interesting because they reached out to me to say, could you provide a workshop for us? You could do it virtually. If we were not in COVID, we'd fly you here. And it was, you know, and one thing I always do is I always make sure that I do all of my service under the Brahma Kumari's name. So it's not in Alicia's name that's being glorified. And it's interesting because I always ask my work, is this okay that I do this? Because I'm doing it under our organization's name also. It's like co-sponsorship. And they are like, yes, do this. It's helping us, you know, really to showcase all the different ways that we're supporting workers. And so when Dadi was like, how are you going to serve those you work with? I never knew that it would be where it would be me with very high level social justice activists who are saying, and these were women who are saying, we're in leadership positions of power, but we're not feeling powerful. And what can we do? And so it was going through this whole process of developing my own inner powers and my own inner leadership, and then taking them through meditation. And they said that it really just shifted things for them because they never saw themselves as truly powerful. And I said, this is Dadi, you know, this is Baba's blessing. This is Mohini Didi's blessing all these years, because Mohini Didi had to do a lot to raise me. You know, I was not an easy child to raise, I would say, but the blessings of the entire yagya really, you know, it makes me feel so blessed, but fortunate that this is how I can serve the yagya. But it's not, you know, it's not me. This is all Baba.
Yeah, this is what, when I read your all detailed news, which she sends me very often, and I really feel delighted that she was 9 years old, but then all Dadi's blessings. And of course, one thing with Alicia, and I think every young person, is that you don't force them, you don't put pressure on them. Let them grow and experience the blessings, power of blessings. So that is not only with Alicia, I think with all young people, we have to say what is right and keep our vision and good feelings and good wishes. And the amazing role she is playing at this time. So she is in young body, but also doing a big service. So congratulations and good wishes. And I'm sure you will get a lot to do, because the way time is, that stress and tension is so common. And now with all these different things happening in the world, and the sickness and distance in relationships, so people will need a lot. And I'm very happy that I can serve in a subtle way, but you are able to serve in a physical way and through words. And also I like when you said that you don't want your name to be glorified. You want Brahma Kumaris and Baba. So I think it keeps the doors very open, because if we have an individual, then, you know, it's very limited. But if we connect with the roots, and then definitely it has more power in that. So all the best. Continue with that, and all the best. Om Shanti.
This is a beautiful speciality now of Avyakti Parivar, you know, having these special guests coming in. We're discovering the family even more, not just our elders, but our youngers. And I think if we know that at both ends, you know, it's such a beautiful family. And I know we have so many very, very young ones that are even younger than 9 years old. So I think really for me, it's beautiful to see you tonight. And I think you're a very beautiful inspiration for all the little ones. So the little ones, you know, look at the future. It's right here. We're all, you know, an image of inspiration for the others. So congratulations. And Alicia, it's very beautiful to get to know you better. I didn't know these stories, so I'm sure everyone really enjoyed. And Mohini Didi, I'm sure that we're enjoying seeing these younger generations, you know, I was going to say booming. That's booming, blooming. I was meaning blooming. Booming is booming, but you are blooming. So the young generation is booming and blooming. So congratulations. And one little word for the translators. I apologize. We were in fire. We talked very fast. And translators, you are amazing. Thank you. Mohini Didi, good night. Thank you, everyone. And
Good night.
Anisha, we'll invite you in Montreal for the rest of the stories. Oh.
Om Shanti. So just few more minutes. So we'll get to our Chintan point, the art of churning. I'd like to invite Sister Shireen.
Om Shanti, everyone. Good evening. That was so inspirational. Yes, all of them are blooming. And tomorrow's Mananchintan point is Baba's Murli gives an X-ray and clear image of my inner self. Baba has a cure for every type of illness. He first takes an X-ray image and then gives the medicine. Babdada and Dadi and both Dadis. I was thinking of today being the International Day of Happiness. And I was thinking, what could give us more joy than just seeing both the Dadis? Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. So thank you very much, everyone. Special thanks to our Didi, Brother Eric, Sister Nalisha, and Sister Shireen. It's a beautiful evening and we all enjoyed. Thank you so much on behalf of full Avyakti Parivar. Okay, Om Shanti. Now let's remember Baba.
So waiting for our Toli, Toli time. Today we have a special Toli. What kind of cookies they are? They are special cookies, and one of the specialties that today brother made the cookies, right? So everyone just you can only take flavor, as we take bhog to Baba, he doesn't eat, right? So you all have become like Baba now. Abhokta. You only see it, right? And you don't get to eat it. Same like Shiv Baba. He also opens the bhog, look at it, and then give drishti and sends it back, right? So same you all are also doing it. But from my heart, I really feel one day we could feed you all what we are making here. Anyway, so good night, everyone, and Om Shanti for tonight. Om Shanti and good night.